Spider-Man again. This is the, sixth Spider-Man movie that's been out in the last...
Like 7 years?
17 years, yeah.
Yeah.
We thought it was terrible.
Just the worst Spider-Man you've ever seen.
No, I mean, it was really bad.
I just don't even watch it ever.
Wouldn't everybody be pissed at that? People be so mad, like,
alright, that's the end of the review. Why do they only do a 30-second review?
Like, oh my god, you mean I shouldn't see this movie? No, it was pretty good.
Yeah. It was really fun.
The best part of the movie, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man ever.
Yeah.
That's the best. I've never seen Spider-Man portrayed as well.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Maybe that cartoon that was out when we were kids, that Spider-Man cartoon, that was pretty good, a depiction of Spider-Man, but as far as live action, this kid, got it right.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He read a lot of comic books.
Yeah. And he just acted like Peter Parker. Like, you think Peter Parker, that's what he acted like.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a lot to say about this because I don't want to spoil anything, but just... The closing shot of this film won't spoil anything about that. I'm talking, do you remember how impactful that last second of Iron Man was right before it went to the credits? There's a moment like that right before the end of the credits, and it's just, yes!
Which is really fitting, because this is basically like Iron Man 4. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
There are a lot of similarities between the way that Spider-Man is presented in this film as the way that Tony Stark has been presented.
Yeah.
And I know in the comics they're very similar. In the comic books, Peter Parker pretty much is Tony Stark now. He owns $1 billion company.
He took over Stark Towers and everything, didn't he?
No, he took over one of the Avengers Towers or something. I don't remember. He's I don't know where he's based out of. I know I have the issue where it tells it, but
I'm pretty sure that Parker Industries is in Stark Towers now.
I think so.
They totally moved out, so it's available.
Really, I mean, all the acting is really good. Michael Keaton, just as good as I thought he would be.
Oh yeah, he was excellent in this movie.
Yeah, Jon Favreau was. They advertised the movie that Tony Stark's going to be in it a lot, and he's in a fair amount of it. But Jon Favreau, the guy that plays Happy,
yeah,
he's more in it. He's more of the guy who Spider-Man talks to than Tony.
Yeah.
He's
non-stop calling him.
Yeah. And he's like the frustrated older brother. Just every day he's like, ugh, he just gets so mad that Spider-Man keeps trying to talk to him. That's the guy that directed the Iron Man films.
Is it really?
Jon Favreau, yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's the one in that Family Guy, Empire Strikes Back, when he's like, Jon Favreau, when Yoda's talking to Luke about the movies, and he's the kind of guy, the director that puts himself in all his movies, but you don't mind because he's the kind of guy that would help you move. and he can actually act.
Yeah.
But,
he was good in this movie.
Marissa Tomei is Aunt May.
God, she's so hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's the hottest Aunt May ever.
How lucky was Tom Holland that when she was consoling him, she was like holding him right here, like, it's okay, baby. And
she had her like big high pants on.
Yeah.
How do you even get pants that high?
I like her. She was in The Wrestler, and she showed her boobies in that movie, and I like them too.
Yeah, this was a fun movie all the way.
Yeah, it was a blast. I mean, we just like any movie, there's some issues. I mean, I still think Spider-Man 2 was the best Spider-Man movie. But this is right up there. Some of the pacing and like the filler parts of the film moved a little slow. They could have done a little bit more.
Yeah, the first act was a little slow. It drug on a little bit. Almost got boring at times. Like they didn't need to do that much to let us know that he's Spider-Man and he's a nerd and all that kind of crap. Like, we already know.
Yeah, and there was way too many, like, I hate it when a movie pads itself out with just nothing but walking shots, and there was a lot of those in the school, and
yeah.
The movie was 2 hours, 12 minutes, and for a Marvel film, that's about average. That's about what they average. They could have either done more with the time that they had, or they could have just taken some of them shots out, moved like 10 minutes out of the movie, but...
I expected a little more comedy out of it. It was a little lacking. I guess they had moments where they thought would be funny, but they just kind of fell flat. Like, we've seen most of that stuff before. So, I mean, it did have its moments, and it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was entertained, but I didn't laugh as much as I've laughed at some of the other Iron Man movies and Avengers and those movies.
Yeah, I did like normally when there's a kid sidekick in a movie, they usually just annoy the piss out of me.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker's fat little sidekick friend, he was actually really good, and he was really funny. He was like one of the better parts of the movie, and
Yeah.
I actually really liked him.
Yeah, he was good for an annoying kid sidekick.
And there's a twist towards like the end of the movie in like the last half hour that I want to give it away. I want to talk about it so bad. That'll be one where we re-review movies in a couple months when they're out on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Be like, I didn't see that fucking coming. Not at all.
Yeah, I didn't either. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and
that was like...
I was not expecting that. Like, usually you can read into things pretty well in these movies, but not at all.
It's one of those things, there's probably somebody out there that's sitting there like, it'd be funny if this happened here, and then it happens and you're like,
oh shit.
Okay,
Wow.
movie.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
No, not at all. So yeah, I absolutely. I mean, we saw this in the here at Escape in the mornings. There's the 3D screens, which we don't go to because I don't know if I can see in 3D. But there's big screens, which is the $7 theater, and there's the smaller screens, which are the $6 theater. So we always just refer to them as $6 theater, $7 theater. We did this one in the $7 theater. It's absolutely worth it for that because when the movie's exciting. That first big fight between Vulture and Spider-Man was one of the best shot superhero fight scenes I've ever seen. That was so good. I mean, it was so. I mean, if you want to know how to use shaky cam in a movie and make it work to your effect, they did a tad bit too much, but I'm not going to complain because it worked. Like in those moments, I mean, you have a guy in a bird suit, a guy that can flip around like a spider. Of course, you're going to have to shake the camera a little bit. So
I'll
it makes sense.
That airplane fight scene was fucking spectacular.
That was really good.
That was excellent. That airplane's like changing colors the whole time and it's just going wild. Like, that was exciting, fun fight scene there.
The whole third act of the movie, like the last 40 minutes or so, is all like if you're starting to get bored in the first half, which you might, like that last 40 minutes kicks in and just stuff is happening nonstop.
It picks it up all the way to the end.
Yeah. And it's except from that point on, like you don't want the movie to end. You're not looking like, okay, when's this movie over? From that point on, it's like, okay, I'm immersed in this world.
Yeah.
And they didn't include too many cameos. There's a hornet flying in here or something.
If you leave it alone, it'll leave you alone.
It just flew out the other one. I've never been stung. I'm allergic to bees, but I've never been stung by a wasp. I think that was a wasp.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm allergic to wasps, but my biological dad was, so I always worry. So I've just always been, stay away from me, wasps.
Their sting hurts like hell, but their bite hurts worse. Like, they'll bite you before they'll sting you, and it fucking sucks.
I got bit by a bumblebee once and not stung. Oh my god, that hurt like hell.
Yeah.
We'll get sidetracked. I hope, you know what, I should have let it sting me because then maybe I could have turned into a superhero.
Yeah, you might have been Wasp Man.
That's another really bonus thing I'm giving this movie. We didn't waste time with the backstory. There was a couple lines of exposition that kind of was like, okay, this is how I'm Spider-Man, all right. And they through the movie, through dialogue, you learn, but everybody already knows at this point. It's been done
twice.
They
didn't show you the whole thing happening. He didn't go on a school trip and all of a sudden got bitten by a radioactive spider. We didn't have to waste 45 minutes of our life on that.
No, it picks up like a couple days after Civil War. The events of when Spider-Man's in Civil War, it picks up like right after that.
Yeah.
And
it was fun.
Yeah.
I wanted to kick little kids down.
Oh god.
I almost kicked a couple down the stairs.
Non-stop kids walking in front of the screen going to the bathroom, and we're not talking like 8 and 9-year-old kids. These are like parents letting their 4 and 5-year-olds go to the bathroom by themselves.
Yeah, and they must have had them hooked up to 5 gallons of soda before they even came at 10:50 this morning. Because they had to pee 17,000 times.
Yeah,
oh my god!
The same little group of kids behind us got up 100 times.
I was so sick of people walking in front of me. Like, luckily for them, they had that big wide aisle, and I didn't have to move when they went by. If it would have been a different theater where I had to get up every time somebody went by because there wasn't enough room, I would have fucking just went hog wild in there and slapped every fucking kid in the place.
Just gone out, got an empty popcorn bucket, sat it down, be like, pee here.
This is the bathroom now. Don't try to go by me again.
But let me tell you something, folks. I don't care how much you trust your kid. Your kid's 5. Don't let it go to a bathroom in a movie theater by itself.
Yeah, you never know what kind of weirdos are there.
I mean, we could be in there.
Yeah.
Would you trust your kid alone with us?
You might corrupt it.
Oh, yeah.
Teach it how to say fuck, shit,
yeah,
ass.
What did you learn today? I learned how to worship Satan.
We traded in for popcorn and nachos.
As much as they charge for popcorn and nachos here, you probably could buy a black market baby for the same price.
Probably good.
So, highly recommend the movie. I thought it was great because one thing I was going to do and forgot is I was going to start this video off by playing the Ramones version of the Spider-Man theme. But in the end, they totally play a Ramones song over the. It's not the Ramones Spider-Man theme, but the Ramones come on right at the end, and I'm like, all right, that's still cool.
They had a couple of punk rock songs in here. Like started out with one and ended with one.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
One other thing, like some of the complaints I've been hearing about this movie, and it's been really bothering me lately. I'm a comic book guy. I'm 37 years old. I've been reading comic books since like 1985. So, and it's nobody my age that's doing this, but people in like their late 20s, early 30s are just bitching and complaining so much about the changes. First of all, these comic book characters were created decades ago. You have to change them to modernize them. They have to appear like they would now.
Spider-Man started in the 60s.
Yeah, Spider-Man's been around forever. It's like people are, they changed too much about Batman. I mean, he's been around for 75 years. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
But like, people online bitch about like the Teen Titans Go show, which is just a parody, and it's dumb, but it's funny, and who cares? You either enjoy it or you don't. I mean, quit with the whole, I hate people, it has to be just like the comic, it has to be just like the book. If you want that, go read your comics, go read your books, and stay the fuck out of the theater.
I don't think that it would matter how it was. Somebody would complain. It would probably be the same whiny assholes that complain about changing too much would complain about it being too similar. Mm-hmm. They just want something to complain about. It's so ridiculous, the amount of complaining these days.
And I mean, and there's a difference. There's the Catwoman movie where it has nothing to fucking do with the character. That was an insult to the character. That one took it too far. It took way too many changes.
Yeah.
And there's been other movies where it's like, okay, like The Queen of the Damned. That movie had almost nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Like, Interview with the Vampire, there's a lot of changes there, but the screenplay was written by Anne Rice, the woman who wrote the book.
Yeah.
So it was, but Queen of the Damned was like a slap in the face. So that's different when you make, but little changes to modernize things or to make it more screen friendly.
Yeah.
I don't care. And Spider-Man is my favorite Marvel character of all time. There's a big tattoo of him right here.
If it was horrible, you'd have more right to bitch about it.
Yeah.
But if something's good, why fucking complain about it? Why be a little whiny bitch?
Dude, and I hate to say this about my own people, but yeah, as a comic book guy, that's why some people look negatively on comic book geeks and nerds, because it's like they just bitch about so much, and it doesn't have to be exactly like it for you to enjoy it.
No, I like comic books. I could read the same comic done 5 different ways and enjoy it 5 different ways. Like Deadpool has a million different comics. Mm-hmm. I like all of them. Like, I like the side stories better than the actual main story.
Yeah, Mercs for Money, the first one. The second one, I think they're done with it. But the first time Mercs for Money, that was my favorite comic book.
Yeah, that was
an
awesome comic.
Yeah, I mean, like, I forget what I was about to say, but I don't mind. I mean, okay, I remember now. One of the greatest cartoon series of all time is Batman the Animated Series. It's one of the best animated shows ever, and they made tons of changes. They changed a lot about Batman, and they added characters that never existed. Harley Quinn never existed before the animated series, and so I mean.
Yeah, because of that, now she has comic books.
As long as the key elements are still there, then I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But, well, trailers, We got one new trailer, and I can't remember what it was. We got the Dark Tower trailer again, and that looks really good.
We got Kingsman the Dark
trailer.
Tower. The one you're talking about is
Pitch Perfect fucking 3. Jesus Christ. You could hand me $300 and I wouldn't see that in a theater. I wouldn't. Oh my god.
Give me $300 and I'll go see it in the theater. I'd have no interest in seeing that whatsoever. Like, my wife's not going to make me watch it.
Well, even Amy really liked the first one, and I didn't hate the first one. I just thought it was dumb. The second one, she actually didn't really care for, so I might not have to sit through 3.
The new trailer I watched online, it was Jumanji.
Jumanji, yeah. I do want to talk about the Jumanji trailer.
Yeah.
It looks terrible, but
it's
good terrible?
It's so terrible. Like, I just don't know what to think. Like,
it's a dumb idea.
The whole Jumanji's a video game now? How? It's a friggin' old-fashioned board game. It's possessed, and when you start it up, you get transformed into the game. It's not over till you finish the game. That's not how video games work. What if somebody pauses it?
Yeah.
What if the power goes out? Like, how are you just gonna be in Jumanji with 4 people and one of them's Jack Black, and that just, I don't know.
It's one of those, I think I might have to see it, but
yeah, I'm probably gonna see it.
Well, they're obviously, like, they dust off like an old Atari 2600, but why are the graphics look like Super Nintendo?
Yeah,
like the Atari. I own an Atari, and their graphics aren't that great.
No, not that good at all.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'll tell you what. The one thing I'll say about this trailer, I'm not a Kevin Hart fan. I just think he plays the same character in everything he does. I don't like his stand-up. I just don't like his style.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him in interviews, and he seems like a really nice guy, and I think he's funny in interviews, like on Colbert and stuff. But this is the first movie I've seen him in a trailer where he's not playing Kevin Hart. He actually seems like he's playing a kind of different character, and I'll give it a chance.
He still has his Kevin Hart moments.
Oh, he's gonna still have his flip out moments. And
still gonna be Kevin Hart. I'm missing the top 2 feet of my body.
Yeah, we're still gonna have that. But it might be a situation like somebody I hate even more than Kevin Hart, because I can't say I hate Kevin Hart. It's just not my thing. I hate Gabriel Iglesias. I don't think his comedy's funny. I think he's that fluffy. Hoo, I'm fat. I'm Mexican. Everything. I'm fat. I'm Mexican. I'm so fat. I'm Mexican. That's like his whole thing. I can't stand him. But in the first Magic Mike movie, he plays a totally serious character, and I was like, okay, when he's not being Mr. Chucklehead and he's not making terrible jokes and not and when he's too busy not being funny. he actually is not a bad dramatic actor, so maybe we'll get that out of Kevin Hart.
He's not the main comedy of the movie.
The Rock.
And you have The Rock and you have Jack Black.
And Jack Black.
To break it up. And I don't think that Kevin Hart can out annoying Jack Black, because like, he's funny and stuff, but he's also super major annoying in other stuff, and you just want to reach to the screen and punch him.
I like Jack Black when he's not the main character.
Yeah.
Like Tropic Thunder, Orange County. I loved him in Orange County.
Yeah.
He's like, why won't you let me around? Because you're a disgrace to the family. Oh, yeah. Like when he's like in Shallow Hal. I don't care for Shallow Hal. Because it's just too much Jack Black. When he's like, School of Rock was a good idea. I just didn't. It's not my kind of thing. So when
School of Rock was pretty good. I liked that. I mean, but he really wasn't the main character in that either.
No, it was an ensemble cast.
But
more.
Yeah, it was more of a group thing, so he didn't have too much screen time. Just like Tropic Thunder, he was excellent in that. Still a good movie. You should go see that.
Go see Tropic Thunder. And good Kung Fu Panda movies.
Yeah.
But that next week, finally, the War for the Planet of the Apes. And oh my God, this is not only did we not get the Star Wars trailer, we did not get the Planet of the Apes trailer. So
I know. Like, I don't know what to think about that.
There's a guy named Chris Stuckman. If you want, he doesn't do any spoilers, but he does a review of the War for the Planet of the Apes. He's a film critic in where he lives, so he got an early screening of it, and he actually called the film a masterpiece. He said it was wonderful. He said it's rare that a part 3 is ever. He said it's probably the best part 3 that he's ever seen, except for maybe like Return of the King. I think he said.
Yeah.
He's like, this is on that level of it's the best of the series, surprisingly. You know.
Awesome. Hopefully, it really is that good.
And I might be doing. I don't think you're gonna. On Friday, I might go see the movie Wish Upon, which is a horror film. It's got the girl who was the main girl, little girl from The Conjuring, and I thought she was fantastic in The Conjuring. So I'm seeing it just because it's her, but I don't have my hopes up because it's the same person who directed Annabelle.
Ugh.
So
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
it might. I think it's only an hour and 28 minutes, so even if it sucks, then I'm less than an hour and a half of a waste of $6.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make it to that since Friday.
Yeah, but War definitely War for the Planet of the Apes next week. I'll be so happy the apes the apes win because we don't deserve this planet anymore.
No, this should just be the planet of the monkeys.
They should let me. I'll convince them that I know like 400 banana recipes, and maybe they'll let me stay.
I can make banana daiquiris.
Yeah,
just keep them liquored up. They'll keep you around.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of chest hair. They may just not notice.
Yeah. Yeah. That monkey looks kind of sickly.
I have alopecia. All right, well, go see Spider-Man. It's really good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.